Friends, today in this video we will learn about SVG shapes. So in this video we will cover up rectangle and circle, and if we get time we will be trying to cover ellipse as well within this video. So SVG can be embedded directly into the HTML as you have seen in the SVG introduction. What we mean when we say embed is that you can directly code SVG graphics within the HTML documents, and it is a vector graphics. So any image created using SVG will not fade out or will not blur, even in case if you zoom in or zoom out at any pixel, and even if you go if you try to zoom the image to 10x, it will not fade, it will not blur, it would be intact as it is. So this is what SVG is all good about. So we'll start with rectangle without wasting any further time. So as we know, rectangle is length into breadth, so this basic concept is required in order to create rectangle. We'll go through this video, we'll go through the slides in order to understand what rectangle is all about. So as I have told you, in order to start a SVG, we have to declare the canvas, and we also have to declare that height and the width of the canvas. So how big is our canvas? So SVG is the element which sets a canvas for us, and width and height are the attributes which is required for the canvas. So the browser can know this is a particular section of the screen which is a canvas. And as we have seen earlier in the video, we have declared circle element. In order to draw a circle, we have similar element called rect. It's RECT, rect, for the rectangle. And as in circle, we have been declaring CX and CY as in center of the circle. We can declare the length and the breadth of the rectangle here. So in order to declare the breadth of the rectangle, we would be able to use height properties. But in order to declare the length of the rectangle, we would be using the width properties. I'm sorry, I'm so not good in maths. So in case if I'm making anything wrong, please correct. Type it in the suggestions box or in the comments as a suggestion, so that I would be able to improve in mathematics as well. So width and height are declared. Here I have declared the width and height of 300 and 100 pixels, and we have also given a style. Style here is a CSS term, and what I have done is I have applied a fill of blue color using the RGB codes. So RGB codes, for this you need to go through the HTML tutorials. However, the color coding, which is 00255, is the last color coding, and that resembles the color which is there on the screen. Now we also have a stroke width of 3, so the border around the rectangle would be of 3 pixels, and stroke color is 000, which is black. So we will see how does it goes and what exactly it looks like, so that we would be able to understand rectangle in a best way. So it is loading. All right, we can see the rectangle here. So we can see it's a blue color. It has got a 3 pixel wide border, and it has a width of 300 and a height of 100. So that pretty looks good. So we'll go ahead and we'll check some other codes regarding rectangle as well. We'll try to cover rectangle and circle in one tutorial. So the width and height attributes of the rectangle element defines the height and width of the rectangle, and the style attribute is used to define CSS properties for the rectangle. The CSS fill property defines the fill color of the rectangle, and the stroke width defines the border of the rectangle, width of the border, and stroke property defines the color of the border as well. So, and we use RGB coding because it's a vector graphics. So we'll look at this example. This is a square. So we don't have a separate element for square. We can draw a rectangle of equal heights, and that would look like a square. So rectangle x equals to 50 and y equals to 20. And see, this x and y are not the length and the breadth of the rectangle here. The x and y represents the coordinate from where the rectangle should begin. So x equals to 50 is from 50 pixels from the left and 20 pixels from the top my rectangle should start. and it should have a width of 150 pixels and a height of 150 pixels, so that it's a square. And we'll use a style element once again to fill it blue, stroke it pink, the border would be pink, and the width of the border would be 5 pixels. We have given a fill opacity of 0.1, that means it's a transparent, it would get a shiny blue color, and stroke opacity of 0.9, so you can understand the particular border also has got opacity, but it's 0.9, that means it's opaque. But our rectangle is transparent, so it would look like glass in this particular way. We'll give it a try. As you can see, this is the produce of the code. So you can see in the explanation as well, the x attributes define the left position of the rectangle. Example, x equals to 50 places the rectangle 50 px from the left, and y 20 px from the top. And the fill opacity property defines opacity of the fill color. It ranges between 0 to 1. So 0 means it's entirely transparent, and 1 means it's opaque. And any figure between this will have its variability. So we can discuss example 3 as well. It's pretty much simpler. It's pretty much same. We can go with example 4. So in example 4, what we have done is everything is pretty much same. We have x50, y20. We have rx equals to 20. We have rx equals to 20. And width and height are same. So the only thing here which has changed is rx and ry. So rx and ry is attributed to let the browser know that we want a curved border on the rounds. So Rx is for the X for all left segmented borders, and Ry is for the right segmented borders. So that gives a rounded corner. As we can see, we have applied radius 20 to both Rx and Ry. So you can see on every corner, the rectangle has been made a corner. It has been cornered and curved by 20 pixels. So this is a good example of making good graphics out of SVG. So we are done with rectangle. We will try to move to circle now. In case if I have missed something, you can put that into the comments. So we'll start with circle. So a circle element is used to create a circle. So instead of using rectangle now, we would be using circle, and we would give this, as I have explained before, we would be applying radius of 50-50 as a center of the circle, and we have given a radius of 40 to the circle and a stroke color of black. That means it would have a black border around it, which would be 3 pixels thick, and we have given a fill of red. So as you can see the example present here on the screen, this creates a beautiful circle here with red fill and black border. So we will try to move to a different circle example so that we would be able to explain that in more detail to you. Alright, so now we have moved to the ellipse element. So in ellipse element, we have an ellipse which is closely related to a circle. The difference is that an ellipse has an x and y radius that differs from each other, while a circle has an equal x and y radius. So here the x radius and a y radius will differ from each other. So we'll see how the code goes for an ellipse. So we have ellipse, a separate element called ellipse to create an ellipse for you, and we have cx, which is again the x coordinate, cy, which is a y coordinate, rx is the radius which has to be rounded for the x coordinate, and ry for the y coordinate, the rounding corners. So we can see, as we don't have a similar x and y coordinates here, we can apply different x and y coordinates. So the Rx attributes define the horizontal radius, while the Ry defines the vertical radius, and Cx and Cy define the center of the ellipse. So if you're not so good in the math, you must be following a textbook, because ellipse that also require ellipse, parabola, or any other mathematical geometrical shapes require radius and a coordinate knowledge. So this must be inadequate with you. However, I am also not that good in math, but you can remember a few of the coordinate systems so you know how to work better with the graphics. So as you can see with this particular code with CX200, CY80, and RX 100, RY 50 we have found, we have